I know you tabled B, General Business B, for the next meeting because of Byrne, and that's rightly so. But I still want to speak on this issue. We know that the Griswold firm has presented an agreement at a monthly cost of $52,000. And you also have a choice in this packet recommendation that you could request an RFP, request for proposal, from other law firms with other bids that could provide legal advice to the city, such as what the Griswold firm does. These people that are out there, that's what they do for a living. They're very well versed in the government code and so forth that could serve you well. I don't know who they are, but I do know that you could probably get 10 proposals. And I think you as a council need to look at these proposals to see where you get the best value for the citizens' dollar. Very important that you serve the city and how you spend their money. I'm not saying that you need to beat $52,000. You just need to get the best value for that dollars that you're putting out. I know that the Griswold firm has been there since 2007. They well exceeded their time. Most firms, most entities go a period of 4, 5, 6 years and change the firms. And I feel that when you write a contract for another firm, that you put something in order that at 6 years you're going to, or whatever time you choose, that you're going to take a look at their contract and go out for proposal again. And whoever that is, they can apply, and maybe you'll continue that. But I think at this time you need to look at other bids to get the best value for the citizens' money. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ramos.
Hi, good evening. My name is Nick Wagner. I live in Hanford. I'd like to speak on the same topic. On, let's see, what was it, March 18th, as there's an overview history. That was a slide, I guess, at the last meeting, talking about the history of the Griswold firm and how long they've been here. There was a meeting on March 18th here, and since I was not at that meeting, it was, by consensus, it said the city council requested items for discussion of the legal services. So I went back and I watched the video because I wasn't here, and what I saw was that there were 3 council members, Lou, Nancy, and Kimber, who wanted to prudently look at new legal services and see if we could get a better deal, because these guys have been around since 2007, which I thought was fantastic. It was brought up, talked about, and then our current city manager at the time, who was no longer here, said, well, why don't you guys just, we'll take this, you can put that in a closed meeting, and we can talk about it, and I can tell you all the things going on, the history and everything, when the council members had wanted to put it to a consensus and get it on the agenda for the next time to get an RFP. And I just thought it was kind of strange that Mario, our earlier manager, wanted to put it off. So anyway, he said, let's do it for a closed meeting. It was agreed on. It was supposed to go to a closed meeting, and the next I heard about it was June 17th. There was a consensus to direct staff to negotiate an updated agreement. So I don't know whatever happened to the closed meeting, if there actually was one, and if anything came up for an RFP, or if it just all of a sudden there's a Griswold presentation and now we're going to do them. And also during that meeting, it was mentioned that there was nobody complaining about it. It was just, all I ever hear is, hey, we need to replace these guys. Well, I can tell you, I have been here numerous times at this council during North Star, during the roundabouts, and I have complained about our current attorney who does not take the citizens' recommendations to heed. He is reluctant, whatever it may be, to go against Sacramento, to go against anything that has been allegedly forced down our throats. He was against the roundabouts. There were safety studies on the roundabouts saying, we have to have these. We can't have the traffic lights. And there was ways to get around that, and I brought that up at this meeting. So there have been citizens who have been coming forward, but they only come forward at times of great need, I guess, and when the people see a problem. So you're not going to get people in here every day, oh, we need to replace the attorneys. But when the pedal hits the metal, we need somebody that's going to defend us and not shy away. So I would like to see a request for proposals. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wagner.
I'm Mark Prater from Hanford, and I'm going to also talk about Griswold LaSalle only from the standpoint of the dealings that I've had with them over the many years regarding the press. That's all I feel appropriate for me to talk about. And mainly I've dealt with them on city matters. And my aim is to illuminate one aspect of the firm's conduct as it relates to my responsibility to present the city side in news, as well as context for the news and matters of public interest. In my experience, Griswold LaSalle has generally been non-responsive to press inquiries on city issues, which the firm is involved in. I have phone and email records to that effect. Phone calls and emails are rarely, if ever, returned. Face-to-face interactions with their attorneys, they're tight-lipped, unfriendly, and frequently discourteous. When I pass Mr. Mazzotti in the hallway, he makes noises indicating disdain. There is no greeting or simple courtesy. Others involved in city affairs have also experienced this, I've been told. No doubt this behavior is dictated by the city's instructions to their council. You might ask, why is courtesy important in public dealings? The American Bar Association's Code of Conduct says a lawyer should exemplify the legal profession's ideals of public service. It also says issues must be resolved through the exercise of sensitive professional judgment. The rules also say maintaining a professional and courteous civil attitude towards all persons. The neglect of this compromises the public interest which it serves. Can I have like 10, 15 seconds?
You have 56 seconds remaining.
Okay, 56, okay. Finally, the rules do not, however, exhaust the moral and ethical considerations that should inform a lawyer. This is what the code says. For no worthwhile human activity can be completely defined by legal rules. I might add that the Bar Association considers the codes of conduct so important that lawyers are required to take continuing education in code courses even after they graduate and have been admitted to the bar. In my experience, Griswold LaSalle demonstrates a lack of basic, simple courtesy, which is counter to the legal profession's own rules. The lack of courtesy undermines the legal system, and if the legal system is undermined, society is weakened.
Thank you, Mr. Prater.
Good evening, Council. Larry Faria, 48-year resident of Hanford. I'm also for an RFP. I've said it before. I think at this point it's going to benefit the Council to do an RFP. There's a lot of grumblings about cronyism or backdoor or closed session deals that were made or what have you. But I think at this point it's going to benefit you for transparency to do an RFP and put this to bed. If they come out on top, they come out on top, and we'll carry on. But at this point, I think it's in the best interest of the city council, and city staff to do an RFP. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Faria.
Good evening, Council. Shane Stronzi of Hanford. I apologize. I wanted to speak on this issue at your last council meeting. Unfortunately, I was at a conference down in San Diego for our board. I also am in support of an RFP, and as a few of you are aware, I'm very well connected with a lot of different mayors and city council members throughout the valley, and one of the things I did do was do a little research on this and ask them how their operation works when it comes to going for RFPs or how they select their law firms. A few of them, Griswold LaSalle does have as their city attorney, one who does not anymore. But I asked them, what's your process? We first go out to an RFP. It's the first thing you do. You do an RFP. You go out, you search. I think one of the speakers said you search for the value, bang for your buck, but also has the ability to represent you well in most cases. That's one issue. The other issue that I had was a 7-year contract, if I wasn't mistaken, what I saw one mayor that I talked to said, won't happen in my city, not a 7-year contract. I have to disagree with Mr. Mazzotti if it was him or Mario, I forgot who it was. But one of them said it was a common issue or a common practice that you can do 7-year contracts. Not to them. Not to them. In those cities, all those council members, all those mayors said that is unheard of. You don't do a 7-year contract. 4, maybe 5, but not 7. Just in case if something does happen, something does arise, they have the ability to have control and leverage over the law firm to either release or do whatever they need to do. I also do feel that $52,000 a month is a little steep, and I do feel that the taxpayers owe it to you to ensure that you do find the best firm out there. There are many different firms in the Valley. I know Griswold LaSalle is obviously not the only one. They're from Fresno to Bakersfield. We have a lot of them. So when I saw the presentation or listened to the presentation as I went down to San Diego, one thing I will tell you is that what I heard was about 20% services from this firm and the rest being just fluff. So I do hope that you're able to go ahead and find a firm, or at least do your due diligence of finding a firm that's good, who has the bang for the buck value, who's going to represent you well when it goes to court and all those different things. So I do hope you do at least go out for an RFP and do listen to some of these firms out there. I know a few, and some of them were very good. And just give yourself a chance to see what they have. And if it comes back to Griswold LaSalle, so be it. But I do ask that you do an RFP for the good of the people of this community. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Strong.
Rusty Brookshire, Hanford, you've already agreed to an RFP. Just do it.
Thank you, Mr. Brookshire.
Francisco Mears, Hanford, former mayor of Hanford. By the way, thank you, Travis, for doing that for Miss Dudley. I appreciate her. She was my teacher, so I appreciate that. That being said, I'm not here to attack anybody on this issue in regards to the RFP for the city attorney. I just want to give you more insight, and I want to reiterate that it's an issue when the city attorney, I was on council for almost 8 years, and the city attorney kept on stating that Helena Chemical, we're going to win this, no problem whatsoever. It's not going to be a big issue. Stated the very day I was in office, last day I was in office, and all of a sudden you guys had to pay out. Now, one indication even from that very last day that I see that we were going to pay out anything. Okay, another issue is in regards to, Darlene and all this issues. They stated that I was going to be liable on this issue because I'm going to be personally at fault of any issues. And we had a separate, we had an attorney that they hired to investigate for Art, to get an investigator for Art. But the problem was, they protected Art. They used that information to go against Art. And that was confidential between him and that investigator at that time, despite what they say in the other situation. In regards to me, Mario at that time said, you know what, you're going to be personally liable with Darlene. You're going to be personally liable. Remember that. I said, hey, let's the cards lie where they lie, but I guarantee you I'm not. Luckily, the council had the foresight, and I got to give Diane Sharp and Kalish, because some of the council didn't want to support a secondary attorney for me. Luckily, we did, and they proved with a shadow of a doubt, they said, Francisco, you have no validity to this case. You're out. So to me, and another issue is in regards to, they spent $15,000 to investigate me and Justin Mendez. Our own city attorneys investigated us for corruption. Our own city attorneys. I don't mind if somebody investigates me, but our own city attorneys, it was $15,000+. You can check that, see my records. And to me, that's like, get an outsider. If you're going to investigate me, I don't care. Investigate me. Luckily, of course, there was nothing again. Now, that being said, you're getting bad advice in regards to the study sessions. I looked at all indications from whether it be Clovis, whether it be Fresno, whether it be Tulare, Kalinga. None of them have special meetings wordings on any of their closed session items. Study session items. So you're getting bad information. And you can check for yourself and see if I'm lying. You're getting bad information, and you've been getting bad information. So I hope that you do a request for proposal. And like I said, I'm not attacking you guys. I think you're trying to do your best with what information you guys, and you're doing a great job. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Ramirez.
Hello, Council. Andrea Barone, resident of Hanford, and Measure H member, committee member. Well, regarding the RFP, I think that, personally, I think that is fair. You're looking at Kimber is not here. You should wait for her to be here. I think it will be fair either way. I know that she expressed that she was okay with the RFP, so I don't see much of a problem. But I think that if you guys had an issue passing it last time, you should have an issue passing it at this time as well. And that's just me being just respectful of the people involved with it.